Oh, hi. Remember that video where I showed you everything I packed for 3 weeks in Europe? Well, today I'm reporting back on the new products and travel gear I road tested during that 3-week trip. This video is for you if you want to know the pros and cons of the Open Story 35-liter backpack from Target, the Topo Designs Rover Mini Pack, Open Story Stuffable Travel Pillow, Nite SlideLock Carabiner, Ethique Solid Face Cleanser and Moisturizer, Plant Therapy Facial Oil Roll-On, the HydroPak Stow 500ml collapsible water bottle, and flat socks. There are chapters in the description so you can skip to the product you're curious about or watch it all and silently judge my packing decisions. There are also links to the products or the companies that make the product. Now, let us get started. First up, the Open Story 35-liter backpack from Target. I like how it looks, particularly this mint green color, and I like how it's laid out. It's very functional and did everything I needed it to do. However, towards the end of my trip, I started to notice a little wear. But let's get into the pros and cons. For the pros, like I said, there's a sleek design with fun colors. Mine practically said, yes, I'm a traveler, but also I enjoy organizing things. There's great pockets and compartments. You can actually find your stuff without excavating your entire bag, which was awesome. And it is affordable, so you won't cry if it gets scuffed, and that's nice. But for the cons, the quality is questionable. Mine had already started to fray towards the end of the trip, which makes me nervous about how long it's going to last. And if you fill it all the way, it gets heavy. Like, do I really need those extra shoes heavy? And there's no waist belt, which means all of the weight goes right to your shoulders. Overall, it is affordable and functional, but I'm not sure it's going to make it through a whole lot more trips. But I'm still taking it on the next one because, well, let's see how long this thing lasts. Alright, now let's talk about this adorable overachiever, this bag that I was so excited to use on this trip. This is the Topo Designs Rover Mini Pack. It is tiny, but it is mighty. Lots of pockets, lots of space in this one. For the pros, this thing is cute. Like, people actually stop and compliment you in the airport cute. It's high quality, which feels like it'll outlive me, so that's great. And it is the perfect day pack and personal item for the plane. I used it in both places. And it can even fit a laptop in a pinch, which I had to do a couple of times. It has good pockets, good straps, and good vibes. For the cons, it is a little pricey for a day pack. I treated myself to this after a particularly rough work trip. Now, it doesn't fold down or pack into itself, which would be nice, but it does pack flat. So that's a good workaround there. I do love this bag. I'm keeping it. If this bag were a person, I'd probably write a thank you note, but it treated me just right on this trip. Alright, here is another Target purchase. I'm a sucker for their travel aisle, and this travel pillow is the situationship of neck pillows. It is the Open Story Stuffable Travel Pillow, and it is a lightweight compromise. For the pros, like I said, it is super lightweight and compact. Seriously, it practically disappears in your bag when you're not on a plane, which is the majority of the trip. It's also affordable, and it folds up neatly. Not too hard to get it back into that little pouch. For the cons, though, it's not very comfortable, and it needs stuffing, literally. If you don't have enough clothes in your carry-on, you've just got a sad, floppy fabric tube. This is not the perfect travel pillow. I am still looking for the perfect travel pillow. But I will probably keep bringing this one along because it packs up so light and tiny. It's got that going for it, at least. Now, this little gadget is for anyone worried about pickpockets. It is not the end-all and be-all, but it is a great little option. It is something that I implemented after I had a close encounter with a pickpocket in Lisbon. They did not get away with anything, thank heavens, but they got a little too close for comfort. That's when I knew I needed some sort of deterrent, and I went looking at this puppy. This particular one works really great for a bag that just has one zipper. If your bag has two zippers, you can get various other carabiners that can connect the two zippers. But in this case, I just had one, so I found this perfect Nite Eyes SlideLock Carabiner. Now, the pros. This gives you some peace of mind. It's great. It's also small and lightweight. It really is a good little addition to your travel supplies. And it comes, this particular company makes a lot of different sizes for different bags. Like I said, this particular one worked great for the waist pack that I was hauling around. Now for the cons, these things are a little bit more expensive than regular carabiners. They're not bad, but a tiny little investment. Worth it? Yes. And the sliding lock does take a minute to figure out, which can be frustrating if you're in a rush to get your camera or your money or something else. Overall, this won't stop a determined thief, but it is an easy extra layer of security. Like the password on your phone being 1234. It's not perfect, but it is absolutely better than nothing. Alright, let's talk about these little bars of skincare magic. Good solid toiletries can be hard to find. Enter Ethique. They specialize in this stuff, and I was excited to try out both the face cleanser and the solid face moisturizer. I did cut off a chunk of the moisturizer and repackage it. I knew there was no way I would use that much. Alright, the pros. These are perfect for travel. No liquids, no spills. They have clean ingredients from a good company. And they last forever. Like, will I ever finish this? Forever. They actually worked really, really well with my skin. I know everyone's a little bit different, but I was a big fan. For the cons, sometimes it can be hard to find these exact products. They rotate, and right now I don't even think you can get this orange Quench one. They are a bit of an investment up front, but come on, it's going to pay in the long term, so don't worry too much about that. The moisturizer does take a little getting used to. There's a learning curve there. But again, once I got used to it, I did love it. Overall, I really, really did like these two products. I will use them until they dissolve into nothing or until I drop them down a hotel sink somewhere. But for now, I'm a big fan and will be taking them on all future trips. I don't know if you have heard of plant therapy. I am a big fan of this company. I'm also a big fan of a simplified skincare routine while traveling. And this was my little spa in a bottle. For the pros, this definitely did simplify my routine. This, along with the solid face moisturizer from Ethique, made a nice duo combination for keeping my face nice and moisturized on the road. Like I said, they are a great company. And when you're using it, it doesn't feel greasy, which is weird to say, but that is what happened. A little goes a long way, so this roller is going to work well for you. Even, I didn't even use hardly any of it for 3 weeks. And it is compact and easy to pack, obviously, a roller. Lots of pros here. For the cons, it's a liquid, so you have to pack accordingly. And we all know I'm on the solid toiletries bandwagon. Also, it's in a glass bottle, so handle with care. That always brings just a little bit of risk to it. But overall, I would recommend this product to anyone. Bonus points if you want your travel selfies to have that just got a facial glow. Alright, here is my hydration hero. This is the HydroPak Stow 500 milliliter collapsible water bottle. Now, I've tried a lot of different water bottles on my travels, but this might be my new favorite. Just look at how cute it is. Now for the pros, it is pocket-sized hydration. And if you get a carabiner, you don't need the sliding lock one that deters the pickpockets. It will clip to almost anything. It's also really easy to refill, especially in Europe where water fountains are everywhere, and even in the smallest sinks, this thing is easy to fill up. There's also fun colors, and it doesn't leak, which is great. It's also pretty easy to drink from. I don't think I listed those in the pros. For the cons, $18 to $20 for a water bottle is a choice. It also does not sit upright, which sometimes I did want. And it's not ideal for places with scarce refill options. If you can't fill up in water fountains or the sink, this is not a good choice. Overall, I loved this little water bottle and I plan on bringing it on future trips. I realize it's not ideal for every single trip, particularly ones where you need a lot of water, but if you're traveling somewhere like Europe where their refill options are plentiful, then this little guy is perfect. Now it's time to talk about flat socks, the sockless socks. The promised no-show comfort without the laundry hassle. I've had my eye on these for a couple of years, and I finally decided that this was the trip. This was the trip that I was going to try these out. The first thing you have to do is cut them to fit your shoes. It's a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie. But luckily, the shoes that I was taking had liners in them, and so I was able to simply follow that outline and get the perfect fit for these flat socks in these shoes. So setup really wasn't too difficult, but there was some setup. Now I just have to see how they're going to treat me out there on the road. For the pros here, these flat socks pack flat, which is really nice. They're also truly no show, unlike those socks that claim to be no show but then just fall off or bunch up in weird places in your foot. So that's great. And then you do get to cut them specifically to match your foot shoe, which is great. But on the con side, they're really married to one pair of shoes once you cut them, and they might not fit into the rest of your shoes. Also, they can get a little stinky. Even though they say they don't, they do. And they're an interesting kind of washing experience. So overall, unless you desperately need a no-show option, I think I prefer real socks. Sorry, flat socks, you were fun, but we're not going to be exclusive. I am planning on probably just packing socks in the future, unless I take these shoes, because they are now married to these shoes. And that's the roundup. Some wins, some flops, and some you'll do products. If you tried any of these, let me know what you thought, or if you have a travel MVP that I need to try before my next trip, please let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and, well, you know the drill. Happy adventures!